Today we're taking a look at the Gillette Heritage Razor Kit. This razor kit of course comes with a few things. You have a nice little travel case, you get a little instruction manual, as well as a 3-piece double-edged razor and 5 blades. Now it seems to me that Gillette does put this off as a travel razor, so let's go ahead and take a look at the case that it comes in to start out with. The case is rather nice. It has a nice leather look to it. It is more likely a vinyl or a pleather of some sort. However, it definitely is a little bit on the water resistant side, if not waterproof. Now the inside of the case has 2 inserts that are most likely a plastic with a flocking over it to give it a nice soft feel. The top insert just has the Gillette logo, while the bottom one has 3 areas for your razor and the blades. Now for travel purposes, you don't want this lid opening up on its own for the contents to spill out. That's why they've actually included a rather snappy hinge along the back side. This will help keep the case closed when in your luggage. This comes in at a rather small size at just about 4 inches wide, 3 1/8 tall, and just 1 1/8 deep. So it won't take up much room in your dop bag or your luggage. Now when you first receive the Gillette Heritage and you open it up here, the first thing you'll see is a little instructional manual. The inside of it has how to put the razor together, and the other side of the card has a how to shave with a double-edged razor. Now inside this little booklet there's also a caution up at the top that says not to store a razor blade in the head when you are storing it in the case. Now for the important part of this whole kit, the razor. It is a 3-piece double-edged razor that consists of a top, a brace plate, and then of course the handle. And that handle comes in at about a hair shy of 3 full inches, which is about 1 inch shorter than some of your other standard size razors. When you first get it, there will be a sticker on the top of the head for the razor. You're going to want to make sure that you take that off before you use it. The head of the razor is a closed comb, and it's been compared to, or even said that it's just a renamed Mule R89, which is a fairly popular blade head used on a few different razors for a few different companies. Now both the head and the handle are both chrome plated alloys, which means that they shouldn't rust too easy, and provided that you keep them clean, they should stay shiny for the foreseeable future. Now in case you're wondering where this set comes from and where it's made, well, it's kind of a mishmash of different places, because you got the case that is made in China, you've got the blades that are made in Russia, you've got the head that is made in Germany, and you've got the handle that is made in the good old USA. Now from my experience over the last 30 days of using the Gillette Heritage. First off, I want to say that I do appreciate the aesthetics of both the razor and the little Minnie Mouse trap packaging, that it comes with. I also appreciate that they say how to put together the razor as well as how to shave with a double-edged razor, because I do think that this is a good kit for somebody that's just starting out wanting to shave with a double-edged razor, or somebody that wants to be a little bit more eco-friendly with their shaving. Now let's talk about that little handle. I had to say that it did throw me off for about 2 shaves, but after that I got fairly used to it fairly quickly, and it didn't put any strain on my hand after about that 2 times of me just getting used to using a much shorter handle than I use on my other razors. Now one place that I noticed that it seemed like that little handle came in handy, and it might just be in my head, but it seemed like that it was allowing me to have a little bit more visibility when I was doing my detailing on my goatee, and even underneath the neck, as well as right underneath the mustache, which is a very important area to not mess up on. Now as far as the aggressiveness of this razor, I would have to say that it's probably about a medium for me, maybe a little bit lighter than a medium. However, you can definitely still feel the razor blade rubbing on the skin, so it's not a soft aggressiveness either. Now I found that if I only made one pass going down, it didn't get quite as close as I would like, not baby butt smooth or anything. However, as soon as I took it against the grain, it seemed to do a great job and I would get as smooth of a shave as I usually want. Now, as I mentioned in the directions, they say not to store the head in the case. However, I found that once I got done shaving with it, it was fairly easy just to put the head back into its little slot there and unscrew the handle. And the handle can go right back into its little slot. Now, because they give you a caution, I'm not recommending that you do that because especially if you're traveling and the package is moving around, you may end up having some issues with that blade touching the little insert in here. However, for me, it was just sitting on my shelving unit in the bathroom. It didn't really make any sense to take the blade out every time, but I wanted to really test and make sure that the taking it off and putting it back on a lot would not be an issue. And what I found is that it didn't have any effect on the razor whatsoever. And I took this on and off every time that I shaved, so at least about 20 times or so it was off and back on, not to mention all the times that I've taken it off and on for the photos and the video right now. One thing that I would suggest is that if you are going to be disassembling it in between shaves like I did, that either you completely dry out all the parts of it before you close that lid, or you leave that lid open so that it can kind of air dry itself. I don't know what would happen if you closed it up when there's still water and everything on it, but I can imagine it probably wouldn't be good. I wanted to do a test on that hinge to see what kind of wear it would be if it was opened and closed a lot. And so earlier today I sat there for about 5 minutes just sitting there opening and closing it as many times as I could. Can't tell you how many times that is, but I don't see any wear or damage on the box itself either. Now for my final thoughts on the Gillette Heritage. Well, I have to say that I like it. The presentation is just really nice. Just being able to open it up and have a nice box with it just kind of adds it to the value of the razor. And of course the razor itself, like most DEs do, does a really good job once you learn and know how to shave with it. Now we have to talk about the price of the Gillette Heritage. A lot of companies like to overprice items that have some kind of nostalgic value to them. However, I do appreciate companies that have them right about the same price, and although this one comes in a little bit higher than you can get a regular DE razor for in some circumstances, of course depending on the brand and all of that, I have to say that coming in at just under $40, I think this is actually a fairly decent deal because you get the nice razor that does a good job. You get the 5 blades. Yes, it's kind of standard with any razor, but I think that the fact that it comes with a really nice travel case that should honestly last a good long time just by my usage of it, I think that it's a fairly decent price. And of course, if you want to pick one of these up for yourself, you can check out the link down below. Now, if you're not looking for a double-edged razor, but you still want something that's eco-friendly, make sure to check out this razor in the video right up here. Down below, that's going to be a video that you'll probably enjoy as well. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.